Well, hey everybody, and welcome to the Meno Lounge. I'm Julie Gordon-White, CEO of Menowell, Menopause Energy and Protein Bars, and we have a really fun, different, and interesting topic today. We've got an incredible guest, and I'm going to bring her up just a second, but I want to share with you like the most fun I'm having. We're in a fanny pack. These are the cutest, by the way. I mean, all fanny packs are cute, but if it's from Lululemon and it's lavender, it's like extra cute. And it is so perfect for my phone, keys, sunglasses, and my bars. I mean, okay, I have eaten too many peanut butter chocolate bars. And I'm saying that as the founder of Menowell. I'm eating so many Menowell peanut butter bars because especially in the summer, they get kind of melty with the peanut butter and chocolate. OMGZ. So highly recommend. Get your cute Adorbs fanny pack. Drop them in there. You're good to go for all the travels and walks and airports and eek. You're ready. Hey, everybody. Love to see you jumping on. Okay, I am bringing up the most fun. I know we're going to lose audio for just a second as she comes up, but Audarshia Townsend, award-winning food and beverage journalist. Hi, friends. How are you?
Hi, Julie. How are you?
You are looking stunning, and I know we were talking. You went and had your workout this morning, so you got the workout, the kettlebell glow
The
going on.
kettlebell, I call it kettle hell.
I
Kettle
I
hell
know, but the
Katie.
results.
I've even given my instructor a nickname, Kettle Hell Katie. She is no joke.
Oh, she sounds like my kind of person. We should have her on. We can have like the three of us talking about kettlebells. I think that'd be really fun. What do you think?
She's awesome. Yes, I would totally go for it.
She can tell us all the ways she tortures you in the best way. Right? You're like, okay, I saw this morning you post, so cute. I love it. She told me, and I will talk about this later because we're talking about functional foods. We're talking about trends. And again, Audarshia is an award-winning journalist in the food and beverage space. She is the content director for Food and Beverage Insider. And I met you because you shared our product on Good Morning Chicago, I think. Who is this lady and how do I love her already? That was so generous. So tell us a little bit about your background and why you decided that food and beverage, and especially on the natural functional side, was more interesting to you, although you know everything about all kinds of food. So
Well,
give
I've
us
been
insight.
covering food and beverage on the restaurant side, restaurants, chefs, bartenders, sommeliers, for 20 something years, almost 30 years. And then I had an opportunity at the end of the pandemic, towards the end of the pandemic, to get in this space. And I saw that there were more and more people in this industry moving toward that because people wanted to become healthier, of course. So then at that point, I didn't know anything about the functional foods. I just knew of the fact that, there are all these great beverages and natural products and natural foods, bars, smoothies, chocolate. When I was like, oh, I could have natural chocolate with all natural ingredients, I was so psyched. And, natural sweeteners, things beyond sugar. So when I found out that there was a whole new world, like natural, where we met at Natural Products Expo West, when I found out about that whole new world, I was like, oh my God, this is a space I need to be in, especially as, you get older, you get a certain age, you try to eat better. So I've just really embraced this area as a journalist.
I love that. And isn't it wonderful, especially, as we get to midlife, how our desire to live stronger, better, happier, it just up levels our habits and how we navigate. And maybe, I don't know, were you a good eater before and then shifted, or were you not such a good eater and then made a big change? True confessions today.
I haven't made that many changes, but it's ebbs and flows. It depends. I still cover the restaurant industry, but I'm more in this space professionally, and so it totally depends. It's week by week. That's how we have to take it, like we take life.
Right, meal by meal, right? Because
Exactly.
especially when you have a chance to be around really incredible food all the time, and just
Yes.
how we navigate that. I don't know if you knew this, but I was in the hotel industry out of college, in Sheraton Hotels, so
Okay.
director of sales and marketing. So being able to eat like the most beautiful food. My office was across the street from the Palace Hotel in San Francisco, which with the
My.
garden court, and every day, like, oh, how am I going to do this every day? So, but I was in my 20s and 30s, so I could handle all the things back then. So,
And then
but today,
being in
not
San
so much.
Francisco with all that wine nearby, I mean, my
All of it.
goodness.
Right. Not my friend so much anymore, that good old wine. But hey, let's talk about what you have noticed because you're on top of the trends. What are you seeing? We can talk about food and beverage. That's really trending on the functional food side and gaining some traction.
Well, beverages are king. There's so much white space in there. There's so much going on there between wellness beverages and then energy beverages. Dealing for years, mostly it was all about just getting the beverage and not necessarily, okay, I want it to taste good, but people actually want them to taste good. They want it to taste as good as a beverage they usually have. The same
Yeah.
thing with these protein bars. They're starting to get better, as you know. But the beverage space is so huge. There's so much to do there. And when you're talking about functional beverages as far as the wellness and then the wellness and the sports beverages, but then the non-alcoholic beverages, all of this is starting to blend into one space. And when I say functional, you're talking about teas, you're talking about botanicals, you're talking about nootropics. So functional in the sense that there's something in that particular beverage that is going to help in some way, whether it's to keep you calm, whether it's to give you focus, whether it's just to make you feel good, and
Yeah.
so make you laugh. So that's what I'm seeing, especially in beverages. And then the bar industry is starting to blow up because there's always been the issue that, oh, they taste too dry, or this is too sweet, or this says it has protein in it, but it doesn't have enough. So a lot of food developers are starting to really look in that area now, and they're starting to make the bars, the protein bars, nutrition bars, really taste good and really be functional.
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing so much fun there, and we actually have for our August issue, it's all about the bars and all the innovation that's going on there.
Yeah, it's exciting. I feel honored to be in the community and of bar makers. And when people said, "Oh, you're doing a bar, another bar," I'm like, "Yeah, but again, this is a functional bar." So early in that, with ingredients that speak to women at a certain stage. Now, can younger women eat them? Yes. They have hormones, especially for PMS time. All of those things are really good, but
Yes.
crafted with midlife women in mind. And I think that's an interesting part about functional foods is that we as creators are focusing on a life stage or a community of people. And what are you seeing about that? Because people are sort of skeptical about functional foods. What are your thoughts on that?
Great question. The number one thought is that when people think of functional foods and beverages, they're going to think, oh, that's not going to taste good. That's going to taste medicinal, or it's going to have an aftertaste. And that's what we write about all the time in Food and Beverage Insider, what these creators, these food developers, food scientists, food technologists are doing to make those alternative sweeteners, to make the protein to taste better, to develop the products better. And so you're seeing people who aren't necessarily workout people all the time, but people who just want something different.
Yeah.
To instead of reaching for a candy bar, and you've said this, instead of reaching for a candy bar, you're going to reach for something healthier, but it feels like a substitute instead of, oh, I'm doing this because I have to, but oh, I'm doing this because I've got that taste for it.
Right.
I really want it.
Right.
So there is a difference. These functional foods and beverages, you don't taste. They're being developed in the sense that you don't taste all that functionality in it. They're starting to taste like the foods that we love.
Right. I love that. I love that. And when it's functional, that means it supports whatever it's supposed to support over time. So it's not going to, unless it's caffeine, which is going to give you zing, like whatever but that's just for midlife women. Yeah, that's too much. But whether it's, sometimes like maca over time or ashwagandha or a lion's mane or whatever those botanicals that we're using in foods, it's not a pharmaceutical. So it's not going to, you take a bite and woohoo, I'm done, that kind of thing. So, or maybe even drinks with teas, same exact thing. And so how are you seeing consumers are responding to something that is actually natural food? It's food, people. But it takes longer to feel whatever, the outcome the food is designed to provide.
One of the biggest trends that we're seeing is that people are drawn to foods that feel familiar. And so that could be the colors, excuse me, the flavors, more nostalgic flavors, like in a bar, in a beverage. It could be a snack product like some chips, the alternative chips to what you're usually seeing.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a lot of that, a lot of plant-based products. But then people are also seeing those traditional snack products that are being functional. So that nostalgic thing is really drawing people to the
Mhm.
space.
And helps when people are moving towards an overall healthier lifestyle, then that's where that term better for you comes in. So how do you up level what you're already eating to something, a better version of that? Is that what you're seeing as well?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And again, like I said, like yours are 100% plant-based, your bars,
Yeah,
correct?
vegan.
That
Hmm.
is so important because you know exactly what's in your products. And a lot of questions that people have about some of the protein bars that are out there, like what are all these ingredients? I don't know what they are. Or I don't, I really want something that's vegan or vegetarian as far as a bar, but it has all these things that may not be, or they're used in the same facility or in the same machinery as something that was used by meat products. So to know that there is a vegan product that's plant-based, it puts a lot of people at ease. That's
Yeah.
one huge thing that I'm hearing, and we hear a lot from people.
And we are all eating more plants. We are all, especially, and maybe this is my lens, right? So that means everybody. If I'm thinking it, everybody's thinking it. But as midlife people, we know all the studies show more plants are better for us, right? All of the nutrients that we get that from plants, and as midlife women, it calms our bodies down. We're not working so hard to digest, but we do need all the protein, so we don't need to be afraid of meat. We don't need to be afraid of that. And we of course can get protein from plants as well, from a vegan or vegetarian product. But eating more plants is just so much better for us. So where we can incorporate plants and keep things, as natural as possible, I think it's great. Okay, so let just made me think about something here: processed versus ultra processed. I'm going to be salty here for 1 second, if you don't mind. Somebody said to me on LinkedIn, or kind of a side note, about our bars being ultra processed food. I'm like, they're practically raw. And
Wow.
so, what are your thoughts around functional foods? And, we're talking about processed versus ultra processed, because pretty much everything we eat, unless you pull it out of the ground or off of a
Exactly.
tree, is processed to get into store, milk or everything,
Mhm.
butter, all the good things. So what do you think about that? Can you tell I'm feeling a little salty
Ah,
about that comment?
I see. I see. So we've been covering ultra processed versus processed foods for a while in Food and Beverage Insider. We started doing it when we saw this huge story in the Washington Post that was totally against. I don't know if you saw that story. It was like a diagram of exactly what I think it was an apple of what it goes through from being not processed to a processed, an ultra processed product, and it went
Mm,
through all the stages of it. And so we were like, okay, we need to write something about processed foods because there's nothing wrong with processed foods. It depends on what it went through because, as you just said, everything is processed. So I don't have a problem with that. And it's more about the clean label versus a bunch of crazy things in your product. So do you know what ultra processed is? So I guess that's, can I have some potato chips? I mean, excuse me, some popcorn versus Doritos, something like that on that level. And what exactly went into making that popcorn? We know that Doritos, that has been super processed, ultra processed. Whereas popcorn, especially if you use a more natural version of it, it's not going to be as processed and it's going to be healthier for you. It's going to have a cleaner label. But Doritos, I mean, the list is so long, it could be, it's thicker than a dictionary. So, I mean, so that's the other thing.
Right.
So it's just that, people are becoming savvier about reading labels. That's very important. If you don't know, yeah, your phone is right there. You can Google it
Yeah.
and you can find out for yourself what is in this product.
Right. We're all about whole foods, pull your vegetables, pick your fruit, all those things. I try to eat whole foods first, always, always, always. And then there's the time when you need something in a package that you want to have the cleanest, healthiest option available to you. So I guess you have to send me that article. I think that'd be really interesting to see
Okay.
the life of an apple from the tree to ultra processed. Quite a journey there. Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Okay, so let's dive into fashion. Natasha says during travel, exactly, exactly. Um,
Fashionalities. I love the
oh,
name.
gotta follow
Gotta
her. She's got some
follow her.
amazing fashion, and she's always eating Manuel bars because she's
Oh,
going places with her
oh.
fam and on the plane. So, question about women's health. So there have long-standing been, teas that have helped with lactation and other things. So we're seeing more products now come into the world for women's health. And what are you seeing? You see things before I do. Is there some interesting categories that are really emerging that we need to be paying attention to help us through this journey?
The categories are the categories that everybody knows, but they're putting that functionality in them, those ingredients that are making you calmer, or like you said, through the stages of a woman's life. So, so you're going to see more functionality in chocolate, and they're doing more plant-based chocolate. Some people are even doing alternatives to chocolate because the supply the supply of chocolate is, in limbo now. There's so much controversy surrounding cacao and chocolate right now that people are looking for alternatives. They're looking to source it sustainably. Um, but chocolate is one of those things that is always going to be at the top of the list because you're going
Right.
to reach for chocolate. So how can we make that as healthy as possible? And then the bars, the protein bars, putting probiotics in the bars for good gut health is really big, really important. And the beverages, yes, yes, yes. Teas, I'm definitely seeing it there. And then the expansion of plant-based products. Now I know that seafood is the next frontier where plant-based products are going, and they're starting to really look and taste like the real thing. However, so much of what I'm seeing out here is fried, and
Mm,
so I like to see, alternative or analog seafoods that you can grill. I don't think we're there yet because it's all about a textural thing and a mouthfeel thing,
right.
and even the color of it has to be right, the color and the smell.
Yeah.
So people are working on that now. Food developers are working on that, but that's the next frontier: plant-based seafood. I love seafood, but I don't want it fried all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so interesting. I know when I first went to the Natural Food Show a few years ago and had some kind of plant-based chicken. I'm like, what the heck? And it's interesting because we want to eat more plants, but then going back to we do so many things to get it to taste like something that we want it to taste like, then it kind of, I think in some ways starts to go far and defeat the purpose of something better for
Right,
us.
if everything's fried, fried chicken nuggets, fried miniature shrimp. It's like, I don't want that. I
Yeah.
want like a nice salmon if you can do that, but we're not too far away from them making that analog of plant-based salmon.
Seafood.
We're not
Seafood.
there. We're
I'm
almost
just
there.
gonna eat the fish, okay? That's just me. No judgment. That's just me. Okay, how about we're all very focused on brain health now also, and making sure, we have MCT oil in our bars, and we know healthy fats. We have high fiber, which is great for your gut biome, with prebiotic, which also supports brain health. And so are you seeing more products talking about brain health and supporting healthy focus in brain now?
I'm actually seeing more supplements and gummies in that area, and
Mhm.
that's not necessarily my area. That's Natural Product Insider, our sister site. I
Mhm.
would love to see more brain health food. I don't think we don't cover it as much, and I would love to cover that more. But I think a lot of them are cereals, a lot of things that get you going in the morning. So again, cereals and bars, teas, but most of those mind, what did you call it again? Mind.
Oh, brain health.
Thank you. I'm sorry. See, I didn't have any this morning.
Okay, you need
What
a
did you?
little another. I know you had a mineral bar. You need to have another one to get a little more MCT oil in there.
Right.
There you
Most of the brain boosters you do in the morning, so you can just
go.
get
Yeah,
it going for the rest of the day.
got it. Okay, so then that makes me think about mushrooms. So I think it was like 2 years ago, mushrooms, mushrooms,
Everywhere.
mushrooms, lion's mane, mushrooms, on. What are you hearing about mushrooms as functional food these days?
Mushrooms are big in coffee. They've been trying to make it a thing in teas. Some people are trying it in baked goods, and
Yeah.
I actually had at Natural Products Expo West in Anaheim earlier this year. I had this brownie. It was Om 2, I believe that's the name of the country. OM then 2. They came over with this brownie, and I was like, "Oh, what is this going to be all dry?" I just knew it was going to be terrible. It was so moist and so delicious, and the fact that they baked the mushroom. It was the lion's mane in the brownie, and they also had some chocolate chip cookies. It's like, this is so good. So and I didn't taste it at all, because you're always going to think it's going to be a little bitter. You're going to have the aftertaste, but it
Yeah.
was really good. So the fact that they're starting to use these brain health and brain booster mushrooms in baked goods,
Yeah.
we're on the right path again.
I love that. I just think it kind of reminds me back in the days when, you blend up some veggies and put them in food to sneak some veggies in for your
Yes.
kids. It's like
Uh-huh.
now we're all grown-ups and we don't have to sneak it in anymore, right? We get to seek out. And this is what I love, because we should all be trying all of these foods. You and I get to go to natural, the expo, and my goodness, you're trying way more food than you ever want to try.
Yes.
It's like by day two, like, no more
No.
samples. I can't take it. But we should all be, investing part of our grocery dollars in trying new foods. Go out, go online. There's all the cool things, of course, are online, but
Yes.
and some of them are on the stores. But seek out all of these different foods. You may not like them, but it's worth investing and trying, because eventually people are going to find that better for you food that's got a function, that's less processed, that has something that can really help. And you can trade up from your chocolate peanut butter candy bar to something that's got fiber in it, and tastes good. Now, it's not just may not taste like the candy bar you're trying to move from, but it's going to be so much better for you and still going to taste
Exactly.
yummy. It's a great swap. So what are some of the favorite things that you have swapped from? Like, I used to eat, you don't even have to name names if you don't want to, but you probably do in your world.
Well,
I used to
I'm
eat this and now I eat that.
I still have ice cream, because I'm obsessed with ice cream. I mean, I go to some of the fanciest, 3 Michelin starred restaurants,
Yeah.
in Chicago and beyond, because I live in Chicago. Home of James Beard Awards. But I mean, I eat some of the best restaurants in the world, and I love the food, but when it comes to pastries, I'm very simple. I want ice cream, I want brownies, I want cookies. I want something really simple. I don't like all the bells and whistles. It's just too much, and it's too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So I love ice cream, and it's one of the things I refuse to give up. However, my stomach doesn't always love me loving ice cream.
Yeah.
It always. So when I found out that macadamia, macadamia, the milk,
Yeah.
the dairy product, I'm sorry, when they started doing frozen treats as well as Oatly, the oat milk, they
Mm-hmm.
also have done soft serve.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my God, this is so great. This is awesome. So I love plant-based frozen treats. They are so good.
Yeah.
And to me, again, like you just said, it's not going to taste like that original thing, but you have to give a little up just to, it tastes really
Yeah.
close. You have to give a little up to do
Well,
better. And so I'm
right.
willing
The
to give up.
trade-off is there.
Exactly. It really is. And it's so good. It's still really creamy. Oat milk and macadamia dairy. Oat milk and macadamia dairy. They're so creamy when they're produced that when they make that frozen treat, that ice cream, you won't miss the real thing.
Yeah.
You really won't. If you can find it. It's a little more expensive though, but to me it's worth it.
Well, and I think functional foods in general, because we are still all fairly early in this kind of genre of eating, of food production, the costs are higher for all of us
Right.
producers. That's just the facts. I wish I could, sell a bar for 99 cents. That would be even better. I wish I could sell them at 7-Eleven, so everybody could have a healthier bar right there. Boom. But the fact is, when you are creating a functional food and emerging brands, brands that aren't 100, $200 million yet, then the costs are going to be more. But I always say, women, you're worth it. Don't cheap out on yourself on nutrition, what you put in your body. I mean, just dictates everything that, the way we live, how we move through the world, how we feel every day in the moment. And that's where we should invest, not purses.
I really loved. Yes, absolutely.
Not
It's nice to
popular.
have. It's nice
Or
to
just,
have a few purses,
okay,
nice
less
purses.
purses. I'm
Yes,
not a purse
I
person.
really like the part where you were talking about how people should try these functional foods and these functional beverages. One of the reasons why that's also important is that you're supporting small businesses because they're more likely to take a chance with these smaller businesses to do this than a huge company spending all the money to mass produce it. These smaller companies can do it. So usually when you see a product that's kind of out there, it's a small company, it's a small business.
Right.
So yes, support that business, give them feedback. And I love it when I order stuff. I order stuff all the time from people's websites or on Amazon, but all the time when I order them directly from the food developer, the producer, I get a nice handwritten note. Thank you so much, Audarshia, for buying my product. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And that's not something you'll get from big business. You get those
No.
nice handwritten notes. Sometimes they put an extra little treat in. I ordered some tea 2 weeks ago and they put extra little bags. I said, I didn't order this. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's the thing when you order some of these smaller producers, smaller companies, and you order from them directly from them, you're gonna get treated better.
Right.
They're gonna remember.
I love that you said that, because that is really where innovation
Yeah.
happens too, is,
Yes.
brands like us, they call us challenger brands, like we're
Yeah.
challenging the big guys, but
Yes.
I'm not challenging anybody. I'm here to support menopausal women to help them eat better, feel better. However, but, being innovative, it's hard to be super innovative when you're a really big company and you're making all your money on one product, and that's where all the profit is. So it's easier for us newcomers or small brands to come up with these things that people are like, I've never heard of a menopause bar before. I'm like, yeah, so I love that you said that, because not only are you trying new things for yourself, it's where the innovation is happening. It's where the new trends are emerging. And we need to hang in there, because it takes time for people to catch up with
Yes.
what the heck we're doing,
Well,
right? So what
you
do you
said
think?
your bars, the menopausal bars, perimenopausal bars, but I showed it to my personal trainer slash nutrition coach on Saturday. He's a man, and so he's like, "What is this?" And he looks at the flavors because I had the vanilla, toasted vanilla, and then the blueberry lemon.
Blueberry, fresh blueberry lemon. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he snatched them out of my hand, and he's just like, Victor, that's his name. Victor is so awesome and so adorable. And I'm like, these are for women. And he was like, he said, I'm about to go on a boat today. He said, I need a snack for the
Give
boat.
me that.
And so he emailed me. He was like, because first he was like, these aren't going to be dry, are they? I'm not a huge fan of dry bars. And I was like, I want to see what you think. I said, I really like them. So he was like, it was so moist, and the nuttiness of it just does something different. You don't usually get that nutty feeling, so you're wanting more after you finish. It's like a tiny bar, but it packs a lot of nutrition in it because,
And
even
fiber,
after my
fiber, fiber,
kettlebell
fiber.
workout,
Right.
today, 4 hours later, I was like, okay, I'm good. I just need some water until lunch. I was set until lunch. And it's usually not like that. You may have a smoothie, you may have that, and you want something else, a piece of fruit or a smoothie. But that little bar, I mean, it's delicious, it's moist,
Yeah.
and it really satisfies.
Well,
And
it's
and
got
I
to
mean,
pack a punch,
it
right?
really
Because
does.
calories, especially in midlife, as much as, we don't want to act like they matter, they do. Sorry,
Yes.
that's they just do. And so we want to spend them the way we want to spend them. And you want to get a powerful punch without breaking the bank on the calorie side. And you got to get in all that fiber too. And if the bars, people are saying the bars, why aren't they bigger? I'm like, I don't think you want any more fiber because that's a lot.
He said it was the perfect amount of fiber and protein before workout. He said, because I was like, can I have two a day? He's like, he was like, one, if you need to, you can have two. He said, but that one, he said, that satisfies what you need first thing in the
Yeah.
morning. So kudos to you.
Oh,
You did your
thank you.
homework.
I made them for myself. So I
Right.
was like, I need this, 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 and not too much of that. So I appreciate your support. All right. So give listeners some tips. How do they find the trends? What should they be looking for? What do people need to know? I know you have some tips for us.
Okay. Well, you go to foodbeverageinsider.com, of course. But our site, to be honest, it is for food developers, our target audience, or people like you, food developers, food scientists, food technologists, people who are looking to develop products or reformulate them, make them better. They may be looking for sustainable color, flavor, or ingredient to go into their plant-based product. And so that's our core audience. However, people are, consumers are so interested in what's in those labels now that they read everything. They consume all sorts of media. And so it's good to know that regular consumers can come to us too, and they can find out, they can look on there and see what the trends are.
Mm,
And the trends are constantly, what are the newest things happening in plant-based products? What are the cool new non-alcoholic beverages you should know about?
yes.
And we've been throwing some, upcycled stuff in there. We have a whole guide just on upcycled
Okay, wait.
non-alcoholic
You have to tell
adult
people what
beverages.
upcycle is who don't
Yes.
know, which
Okay.
in food, it sounds like, am I eating like compost? What are we doing here? Yeah.
Upcycle just means everyday products that you eat every day, like we talked about macadamia. Macadamia is a non-dairy product, and it's basically dairy made out of macadamia. So instead of dairy, they take they take the dust, because when they're processing these nuts, they're putting them in bags and stuff, they've got odds and ends, there's dust all over the place, and they were giving those to cows,
Mm,
and they decided, hey, we can make products out of these. So the products, this isn't old anything, it's just the products that weren't being used, or sometimes it's the ingredient. It could be the stem of a plum, or not a plum, of the
mm,
grape, but
mm.
it has nutrients in it. Because in order for something to be upcycled and used properly, it must have some kind of function in it. So it could help for wellness. It could help for mind, to make your mind better. So that's the purpose of it. Not just say, oh, I upcycle something just so I can have color. But color is a function. That's right. Color is a function. It could be a natural. You just want just a tinge of yellow. So you use something of the banana, the strains of the banana
Mm,
that you may have thrown away.
mm.
So a lot of food developers are starting to do that. They're using all of the product. Like when they say with animals, they say from the head, the head to the tail,
Yeah.
or wait, the
I don't know,
nose.
but I don't want to think. It reminds me of my family's from Louisiana. It reminds me of hoghead cheese. I don't want to think about that.
Pretty much, they use every part of the hog.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing with upcycled, when they use upcycled ingredients. They're using every part of the fruit or the
Yeah.
vegetable, and
So
they're
these are
turning it into new
ingredients or
products.
parts that we would normally discard,
Discard.
right? And now
Exactly.
people are turning them into something usable, edible.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
So
Upcycling is amazing.
so macadamia,
Milk,
milkadamia, that's the name of it. It's
milkadamia.
milkadamia. They have created, they were already macadamia farmers. So they've taken all that macadamia dust and created a whole new product line where they have milkadamia, non-dairy creamers, milk replacers, like I said, soft serve and ice creams. So they've done that, and that was, oh, now they have lattes, ready to drink lattes. I mean, all sorts of stuff. Some tea products, black tea products. So yes, that's what upcycled is. So that is a huge trend. It's going to continue to be a trend. And just, reading labels, clean labels is going to be a big thing. But don't do clean labels just to be doing clean labels, because that may take out some of the things that you need in a certain product.
Mm, good advice. But I love that you said read labels. We all have to get better at reading
Mm-hmm.
labels. And
And
I
understand.
really taught my husband how to read labels because he's such a much better eater than he used to. You know,
Oh,
Dave, if you're listening, sorry, but he used to like Slim
okay.
Jims, like no, like ew, don't eat that kind of stuff, But chomps, yes, those are
I
for
was just
you,
about to say,
And now
there's
let's
so
look at the
many,
difference.
there's
Yes.
so much jerky and
Yeah.
so many meat products, like jerky, like the Slim Jims. They
Yeah.
have really great ingredients in them now. There's so much sugar in Slim Jims and
Well,
so
and
those
they're
other jerky products, but now they're all natural. They're naturally smoked, and they're using really good cuts of meat. Or again, there's another one that it just uses, it's seafood jerky, and it's really
mm,
tasty, very clean
mm.
products. That's oh God, I can't think of it. She's gonna kill me. It's see,
It'll,
oh,
it'll come to you.
it'll come to
Seafood
me.
jerky. Seafood
Yes,
jerky. Search it.
seafood jerky, and
Yeah.
it's Black woman owned.
Awesome.
It's delicious.
Really good. And it just shows that if you open your eyes when you go to the store or you go online and look for products that are different,
Mm-hmm.
that we consider, the easy way of saying it, better for you. So you can up level the same things that you like. And even if they taste not quite the same, you're going to develop those taste buds over time. And you're going to be so glad that you stopped eating this and you stopped and started eating that. You know
I
what I
love it
mean? So
when you say
you're
that.
worth it, worth it, worth it. Okay, anything else you have hiding over there in your pocket you want to share with us?
Um, as always, we're constantly cranking out content daily on foodbeverageinsider.com. And then next month, like I said before, we have our functional bars issue coming out, the digital magazine. And we also have a webinar, a functional bars webinar, and I am the host of it. I'm moderating it. And that is the end of August. I believe it's August 29th.
Beautiful.
So, of course, I'm going to give you a little shout out in
All
there.
right. Okay. Thank you. You're always so generous. I know you love Menowell and
Delicious.
you have all the bars, all the love coming your way, but you're so generous about sharing it and just helping people live better lives with all the information. And they can catch you on Good Morning Chicago, I guess, and WGN also. Is that where you do also your segments?
I'm on Fox 32 Chicago, and I'm on there once a month. And it's the noon show now. I'm
Oh,
on a noon show. It's
noon
just
show.
easier for me to do. It's in the middle of the day, midday people. And I always have a link up on my Instagram page. I always put all the links up there. You can see old segments where I'm always introducing new products, or products that people may have not known about, and they're always better for you, whether they're beverages or food.
Love it. So if you want to stay on the cutting edge of all things natural foods and beverages, you need to follow Audarshia. How do they follow you on IG?
I am a Dasha, and I keep it funky here. I write about. I mean, I post. Like I said, I post my segments. I post fun foods that I find, whether I'm in a restaurant or I'm in a store and I come across something. I'm always just posting as much cool content as possible when it comes to food and beverage.
I love it because food and beverage is fun and funky. So why wouldn't you be? We don't have to be all serious about it all the time.
Exactly.
Well, I'm so glad we did this because
Thank you, Julie.
it's, you and I are so linked arms on wanting people, women, to understand about all the cool things that we can eat because food is medicine. We are what we eat. We deserve to invest in the best food we can with whatever that budget is for you. Little changes make big differences. So
Absolutely.
thank you for all you're doing. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure seeing you.
Always. I hope to see you IRL soon.
Yes, yes,
But
yes,
I do
absolutely.
want to do an episode on kettlebells with you.
I will talk to Kettlebell Hell Katie
Okay.
to get her on here.
Deal. And then we'll talk about some functional foods and beverages that you use while you're getting through the workout.
Pain. Yes.
The pain. Good stuff. Okay, happy summer. Thanks for being here, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this and make sure you're following I Am Audarshia right after this so you know all the latest everything happening food and beverage. Okay, everybody. Be
Bye,
well.
Julie.
Take
Be
care.
well.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.